Hey everyone, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast, and today is going to be my episode 14. We are going to be talking about movies today. G20 with Viola Davis and Anthony Anderson. This movie kind of snuck up on me. Saw a few previews. It is on Prime, so I don't think it hit any theaters. I could be wrong. It could have been in theaters for a little while. I know sometimes Netflix and Prime do released some movies in theaters. Pretty decent movie. Also, after the credits, I saw that Viola Davis actually helped produce the movie or executive producer, something like that. Pretty good movie. The story was actually pretty nice. Showed her being the president of the United States. Had a little backstory with her family, like getting to know her family. Don't want to go into much detail in case people didn't watch it. So try my best not to give out any spoilers. And if I do apologize. But it's a nice movie. She is the president of the United States. Tries to get some of the 20 like strongest countries in the world to come to like South Africa and try to come at like something to the effect of helping farmers, having electric or digital currency instead of having, paper currency or coin currency or gold. Make it easier for the farmers to be able to afford, their crops and their foods and stuff like that. And again, you know, I definitely see something like this playing out in a real movie or real life, I should say. They have all the countries there, or at least all the world countries, the leaders of those countries in one place. They're all talking about their different ideas. They're trying to win each other over. And, something does go wrong there that don't know the guy's name, but the guy who plays Homelander, he's actually the bad guy in this movie, or at least in charge of the mercenary group or terrorist group takes over everybody there. They pretend like they're actually working for the event and they end up taking over everything, taking over the computers, taking over the airways, shutting down the entire place that they're at, starts killing a few of them and then forces everyone else to kind of like say certain words so AI can kind of, I would say, mirror their mannerisms and kind of like just voice for them later on, and they can pretty much say and do whatever they want with that world leader. Definitely showed that the world was going into like a crisis money wise, and pretty much it was just the one guy thinks he's doing something right, and Viola Davis and I think one of her like Secret Service and them two guys were pretty much kicking everybody's ass. Definitely show Viola Davis strong in this movie. I will spoil this. There was like an elevator scene. She was on top of it with the people she was trying to help escape. She ends up jumping into that elevator shaft and beats up like 2 to 3 guys in that elevator shaft. Definitely showed Viola Davis strong. She's actually one of my wife's favorite actresses. So one of the reasons why we watched that movie. Viola Davis has been doing a lot lately. I saw her in The Woman King. I saw her in the DC movies there. So she's definitely going to be in. I'm assuming she's going to be in the new DC universe with James Gunn there. But great movie, guys. Showed a different perspective if the woman was a president, and in this case, the woman was like an ex-marine or ex-military. So she definitely had a different background. It wasn't like she was just campaigning her whole life to be in politics. She was actually, served her country, and then from there worked her way up to being the president. Um, Anthony Anderson was I guess, the first man in this movie. Kind of different to see him in this type of movie. He wasn't really funny in this movie. He was more of just like a supporting role, but definitely nice to see him. And I haven't seen him in a while, except for that one TV show he has. I think it's Blackish, if I'm not mistaken. So it was nice to see him in this role. Definitely protected his family in this role. Again, I don't want to go into too much details in case you guys haven't watched it. I highly recommend this movie, honestly. If you have Prime, it's on there now. I think it came out like April 10th, so it's been out for a few days. Definitely recommend that movie. I would say I give it about a solid 8. It is a typical like, um, you know, what's it called? Something that Gerard Butler did, like, Olympus Has Fallen or something to that effect. But the only difference is they're in South Africa being attacked by mercenaries, and as Viola Davis, the president of the United States, actually combating or fighting herself to make sure that she and her family survive and the surrounding people. Yes, there were some casualties, but there was a lot of life saved because of what she did. Um, Definitely recommend that movie again. I'm going to say it, give it a solid 8 on Amazon right now if you guys decide to watch it. It's nice to see Viola Davis in this role. They made her look super strong. Again, she is the executive producer, so it makes sense. But it was a great movie, great perspective if the woman president, and if something came to that route, you know, um, espionage or whatever the case is. She had people in her own team that were kind of behind it, alongside with that mercenary team. So a lot of going on there. She had a daughter who kind of hated her for putting her in certain situations. So definitely a great movie. Saw it with the family. Viola Davis kicked ass in this movie, literally, and directing it, or executive producer again for that movie. So she kicked ass in that as well. Give it a solid 8, guys. If you haven't watched it yet, again, go G20 on Prime. And again, guys, that's my rating there. You guys have a great one. Bye.